Okay, so Tom, tell me about your son and the story and how he's connected here to the Request-a-thon.
Stephen was a 15-year-old sophomore in Highland High School, and he found out about a week before Christmas that he had cancer, bone cancer. And KJ was talking earlier about the families finding out for the first time that that they're not dealing with a cold or the flu or something, and I mean, that hit so close to home because for 6 months or 8 months we thought we were dealing with a minor infection that just wouldn't go away, and it turns out that it was more than just an infection. It was cancer. And so many things go through your mind as a parent, and I'm sure as a 15-year-old kid go through your mind when the doctor tells you that the diagnosis is cancer. But that Stephen always had a positive attitude, and one of the things that I remember about those days is that Stephen was all excited because he says, "I'm going to get a wish at the Make-A-Wish Foundation," and that sustained him because those first few months with the type of cancer that he had were terrible. He went through an extremely painful surgery on his lungs. That in and of itself should have gotten him a wish, and that was terrible to go through. But then he had to go through chemotherapy, and then after that radiation, and he went through several surgeries. And one of the things that would get him from day to day was the thought that someday he was going to get a wish granted, and at 15 years of age he wasn't willing to settle for just any old wish. And he talked it over with other members of the family, and we encouraged him to try to find something that would be unique that we couldn't do for him, but the Make-A-Wish people could make happen.
Absolutely. Could do it.
They could go for it. And the trips to Disney World were great. Mm-hmm. But we could have, if we wanted to, we could have taken our son to Disney World, and I said, don't settle for it.
Yeah.
I hate to say that because it makes it sound like Disney
World.
No.
I understand.
But he was 15 years old, and what I've noticed as a board member is that it's the older kids that come up with the really exotic wishes, and the ones that really challenge the wish managers to put things together.
I want to burn. If I got a wish, I want to burn something down. I want to just burn, just burn a house down. So
I'm not sure that arson is included in
that. I'd like to commit a crime.
I like destruction. I like to destroy things. Maybe I'm a pyro guy, but I do like. Let's see if that Make-A-Wish could come up with something like that. Like I burn a controlled fire. I have the fire department standing by.
We've had discussions about what wishes are permitted and what aren't, and I'm not sure that arson has even been considered, but we can bring that up perhaps at a future meeting.
How about one of those bunny farms, one of those things out there?
You want to burn bunnies?
No, not a bunny farm. What are those things? Places, what I'm talking about, Scott, in Vegas?
Why do you ask me?
Well, you know what I'm talking about. The bunny ranch? The bunny ranch. Not a bunny farm.
The bunny ranch.
Where they mass produce a bunny? No, bunny ranch.
So you want to burn a prostitute?
Yeah, basically a prostitute. Hey, when the Make-A-Wish goes up to 18-year-olds, right?
Yes.
So, hey,
David.
there you go.
You are welcome.
I think that should be allowed.
David.
What?
Anyway.
Sorry, take it away from Stephen's story. But I'm saying, he was thinking, though, man. I'm thinking, too. I like Stephen.
And just to set the record straight, Stephen never considered burning down bunnies or prostitutes.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure that people out there understand that. That was your idea,
that was my idea.
Not Stephen.
Okay.
And, well, anyway, Stephen ultimately decided on playing golf at Pebble Beach Golf Course.
Oh, wow, the primo, the best.
It's, well, there's so much history, and you walk into the clubhouses there, and you see the lockers with names like Arnold Palmer and Clint Eastwood, and Clint Eastwood was one of the owners at the time. In fact, he still may be, I'm not sure, but at least when we were there, he was. And holes that if you follow golf at all, you know that there are certain holes at Pebble Beach that are just world famous. You know, the number 7 par 3 that almost juts out into the ocean, and Stephen likes to brag about how we were hitting through a very, very dense smog when we played there. And
Smog or fog? It was smog, huh?
Fog.
Yeah, because smog
Yeah.
would be from factory.
Smog would be Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Fog. This was classier.
This is fog. Yeah, that's a lot better because, man, you're playing through dense smog.
No, we were playing through dense fog really for about 4 or 5 holes. You could hardly see.
Yeah, probably was it early in the morning, maybe? It was still burning
No, it was
off?
late in the afternoon.
Oh, was it? Wow.
And when I hit, and the whole
You know where the fire is? The fire that I was burning down the street.
That could
the
be
bunny
the
farm.
bunny ranch
When I was burning down the bunny
from
farm.
Las Vegas. But I hit my shot, and it's only 97 yards from the tee to the green, that somehow my ball got completely lost. And to this day, we don't know whether I hit it in the ocean, whether I hit it way left, way right. Nobody knows where it went. It was just that thick. And Stephen always liked to brag and let people know how bad I was in that hole. But that was a hole that everyone knows, and the 18th hole was so famous, and you know, the people at Pebble Beach were so kind and so gracious, and made us really feel special. And I know when Stephen got back, people would ask him what was so special about Pebble Beach, and he said, well, words to the effect that, well, for one time in my life, I could feel like a normal kid again. And I've always maintained that I don't know how he could have felt normal at Pebble Beach, because they treated him like a king. He had television reporters stopping him, on the fairway, interviewing him. He had radio personalities stopping to interviewing, newspapers. I mean,
He was like a star.
he really was. There was just a tremendous amount of publicity, and I think he was the first Make-A-Wish kid to ever play golf at Pebble Beach. I may be wrong about that, but they certainly treated it as though he was the first. And it was just an experience that was special for him. It was particularly special for Stephen because by the time that the wish got granted, it was a long time getting that wish granted because of things we don't need to go into. But by the time it got granted, we knew Stephen was going to die. I mean, for the first 2 years of his treatment, it was all optimistic, and we knew he was going to live. I mean, that's the way you deal with it when you're going through something like that. But he had some setbacks, and by the time that wish was granted, we knew that that his days were numbered. And I've got family members. I've got 2 brothers that live in Southern California, and we knew that it was unlikely that Stephen would ever get to see that part of his family again. So they were able to drive up the coast from Los Angeles up to Monterey, and it was just a huge family reunion, and it was just very, very special for all of us. And we have the Make-A-Wish Foundation to